Welcome aboard, all you wonderful groomers, pet stylists, and canine cosmetologists. You found the Traveling Groomers Podcast, where we discuss lessons learned from mobile and house call grooming. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Bear Anthony. Any moment now, we'll be joined by my co-host and friend, retired mobile groomer and educator extraordinaire, Mary Oquendo, and very likely a special guest to help us chat about all things grooming, grooming industry related, and just plain fun digressions that I will totally wrangle back to topic. Grab those travel mugs and climb aboard to see where today's topic will bring us. Let's roll! Pet Edge is your provider for professional grooming supplies at great prices. Check their website often for new products, sales, and special offers. For a limited time, save 5% off your order with promo code TRAVELER5. Find what you need to succeed at petedge.com. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Chris. And we have a special guest today. So welcome, Lisa Menze.
Hi, everybody.
So Lisa, before we get started, just give us a little overview real quick. Who are you?
Longtime retired groomer in CMG, CFMG that started a pet care staffing agency where I provide remote virtual assistance to the pet care now. So while I don't groom, I'm still very actively involved in the pet business.
All right. So first of all, I wanted to talk a little bit. You have something else we want to talk about. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But let's just start off with the easy stuff, virtual assistants. I have a virtual assistant, happens to be my daughter. But I had to train. Yes, Jessie gets paid every month to go schedule my social media for me. So I personally find that tedious. All right. Yeah, and what take me an hour of my time, she could do in like 15 minutes because I don't want to do it.
Exactly.
I have some questions for you after we stop recording.
Okay. I don't know if she wants to do that professionally. She doesn't make her do it.
It would be for a very limited, very specific thing. We'll talk later.
Okay. Yeah. No, I make her do it. Okay. But I had to train her to do what it is I want to do. Okay. And I've had other VAs that I've got from other staffing agencies that some of them worked out, some of them didn't work out. And then I guess what was my last straw was that she was doing a really, really good job. And I started like giving her more money than what she was asking for. And then she slacked off.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's not what we do.
That's not what we do. And I just got frustrated and I thanked her and moved on. And then I contacted my daughter and I says, how busy are you? She goes, I got like a spare 15 minutes a day. Good.
Well, your daughter probably doesn't want to do it. Maybe we need to talk to Lisa after we hit record, but we'll learn more.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So that's my experience. I love the fact that someone's doing something I don't want to do. So what are some of the things that a virtual assistant can do?
They can do almost anything, but where you hit on that you had virtual assistants from other places and you had to train them, what sets us apart is our virtual assistants come to you trained on your processes. So if they're doing video editing for you, they come to you knowing how to edit videos, but they also come to you knowing about your business so that you don't have to spend very much time with them. Or if they're working in your groom shop or being your virtual receptionist in a vet's office, they already come knowing the business practices so they can integrate pretty seamlessly.
Okay. And what's the average cost of hiring a VA? And then I want you to compare it to like an actual employee, cost of an employee.
Well, I can tell you my experience when I had in-house receptionist in my grooming salon in Florida, where minimum wage is $13 an hour right now. My receptionists were making about $16 an hour. Plus I was paying, all the benefits, paid vacations, the Medicare, the Social Security. So they were running me around $20 an hour. The average cost of a virtual assistant through my company, part-time, 20 hours a week, is $230. Full-time is $415, which is 40 hours a week. So between the two, you're looking anywhere between $10.50 and $11.50 an hour.
Okay.
And that's all in because you're paying an agency. You're not paying any additional cost.
All right. Or dealing with employees.
Right. Or dealing with employees.
And I'm not spitting on employees.
No,
okay?
no. No, I
Work that goes along with
No.
having employees.
I make that face because A, paperwork, and B, the things that fly out of my mouth. Like I'm the nicest and most patient person most of the time, but anyone who I've ever been their manager is probably going to be like, and buy a lottery ticket and mark the date I said this. I can be difficult because I can be demanding. And I don't always recognize the tone that's coming out of my mouth. And I don't mean it so harsh, but it can come across that way. So yeah, someone else dealing with employees would be grand.
Yes.
All right. So VAs can do social media, of course.
They can be a receptionist, social media, manage your Facebook groups, do your payroll, accounting, pretty much anything an in-house admin could do, they can do for you. They can create your content. They can program your AI to run your AI receptionist for when they're not there. Pretty much the sky's the limit.
Okay. So I will say, a VA, like my daughter, once I got her to understand how I wanted things, I just give her the list of what I want. We've created drive folders for it. And it's a beautiful thing because I don't have to spend my time doing what I consider to be a tedious job. I'm paying someone to do it.
Yeah. A VA definitely can just clear all the repetitive tasks off of your plate that you don't want to do, but they're also very good at doing things you don't know how to do.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Okay.
Like
there's two
social
reasons
media
to hire. Yeah, two reasons to hire. You don't want to do it, you don't know how to do it, and you don't want to learn how to do it.
Exactly.
You know, the whole 24 hours in a day nonsense.
And they just provide staff to a lot of places that they just need staff. It's not that they're working just one-on-one in a small business. We provide a lot of virtual assistants to franchises, mobile grooming franchises or dog trainers. They're just there as their staff.
So I'm a big believer in virtual assistants. I've been yelling that from the rooftops for years, right? How someone can give me back part of my day. At the end of the day, giving me back part of my day is a beautiful thing.
I'm working on that really hard, and I'm working on making that distinction. And I gotta hit a button in about a minute, but I think what a lot of entrepreneurs, small business owners, or solopreneurs, which describes a lot of mobile groomers, I think one of our problems is when to shut off work. And yes, we have 24 hours in a day, but when you run a business and work in the business, like it's not just you have groomers who work for you, it's you are the groomer, you are everything and wear all the hats. When does your workday really end? And that can be really hard when you have family who want to spend time with you, when you have pets that want to spend time with you, and you're like, no, let me just get 5 more minutes of, stuff done.
Yeah, and I think that's a big problem because you see what is considered to be a badge of honor. That's all in air quotes if you're not watching the video of working 120 hours a week and saying, well, I'm a small business owner, we have to work this amount of time. And there's what, 100, how many hours are in a week? We do some quick math.
Math?
24 times 7.
168.
Okay, so yeah.
Dueling calculators.
It's faster than me. So 168 hours a week, and well, I'm working 100 plus hours a week because I'm a small business owner and that's what's expected. And I'm like, that's not healthy.
Definitely not healthy.
It's not.
It's funny, there's a slogan where people are like, oh, I didn't like my job. I worked too many hours, so I started my own business and now I work 24/7.
Okay, wait. Hold that thought. We'll get back to that in 30 seconds. Are you ambitious and motivated? Looking to pivot your career within the pet industry? Hesitant to take the first step? Unsure of how to begin? If so, the Create That Program monthly membership is tailored for you. Gain access to over 20 hours of recorded content, invaluable workbooks, and practical checklists. Additionally, benefit from a monthly group coaching call with Mary Oquendo, a 2-time nominee for Barclay's Contribution to the Industry Award. Are you prepared to make a worthwhile investment in yourself? For just $197 a month, initiate your journey towards leaving a lasting mark on the pet industry by joining Create That Program. Join today at createthatprogram.com. And I think it's not just that, but I know that meme you're talking about, like, I didn't like working 40 hours a week for someone else, so now I work 100 plus for me. It's not just the hours. For some personality types, the working for someone else, just no. As much as I may have admitted to being not always the best boss I could be, because I don't know the tone, I don't get the tone that's coming out of my mouth, and I expect everyone to work as hard as I do. I was also not the best employee, because when in my life before corporate, before grooming and even in corporate grooming, you got to tell me why, and it's got to make sense. Like, I don't have a problem with authority. I have a problem with stupidity. So working on that work-life balance and getting other people to do the stuff that I don't have to is fantastic. So, you first, Mary.
All right. So if somebody is interested, let's start with, if somebody wants a virtual assistant, how would they contact you? Let's start there.
Lisa at internetstaffingsolutions.com.
Okay. Now, if somebody wants to become a virtual assistant, thinking, you know what, I'm done. I had one of my plans for after grooming. I thought briefly, you know what, I'll be a receptionist in a grooming shop. I could sit on a chair all day long and I can make appointments and not really tax my brain. I'm a groomer, so yeah, I know how to check in a dog. And I thought that would be nice, but also realized I wasn't going to get paid very well doing that. So we knocked that one off fairly quickly, but there's got to be life after grooming, right? You can't, it is not, again, a badge of honor to work until they cart your dead body out from underneath the grooming table. All right. You need to have a plan to retire. You need to have a plan that, you know what, maybe you don't want to retire, but you don't want to do the physical job of
grooming, and you want to step back a little bit. Like, and whenever we rebrand and redo our business, there's always that period of time that's scary. where you go, okay, I really only want to do small dogs, but I have so many doodle clients. That's going to be such a hit to my income, but my back literally can't anymore. So yeah,
So if somebody wants to pivot into doing like a virtual assistant for the grooming industry, where would you recommend that they start?
They can call me. I'm happy to talk to them about it.
All right. I mean, that's reasonable because, there's very few places that offer training to become a
Right.
virtual assistant. Okay. I know River Lee had a program. I don't know if it's open yet. And while you're talking to Lisa, I'm going to go to the internet to see where that program is at.
that's cool, because I had a question. So what type of things can your average groomer get your virtual assistant to do?
Literally everything in every business that we've placed virtual assistants in, everybody wants something different. We have virtual assistants building courses. We have virtual assistants building websites, along with their receptionist duties and their content creation. Kind of the sky is the limit.
Okay.
All of the admin tasks, but every single person will want something different. A lot of places simply want them as a virtual receptionist. Other places will give them a long list of things that they're doing. Where we have virtual assistants in retail businesses, they're actually selling. So you name it.
Oh, like online sales.
The online sales, they're
Okay,
their customer
okay.
support. We have virtual assistants that are doing selling the actual sales calls for dog trainers, where they're selling thousands of dollars worth of dog training packages. So if you can dream it up, they can probably help you with it. And that's something when you come to us for a virtual assistant, we're going to ask you, what do you need this virtual assistant to do? And if it's kind of a multitasker, give me your top 3 that you need the virtual assistant to do. And we will pair you with someone who has the exact skills that you need. And then we also have a program that your virtual assistant can grow with your business. When you hired them, you only needed a receptionist. Now you want someone to create content. They'll work with the trainers on my internal team, and we'll have them creating content for you. Or if you want them to start handling your QuickBooks, then we can train them, upskill them where they can do that for you. Because some people, they love the virtual assistants. They don't want to trade them out. So we'll just train them.
All right. So River, I know she had a program on training VAs. It's not currently on her website. So I don't know if she's revamping it and getting it back up. But anyway, for me, I think it's a viable option for somebody who wants to work from home, doesn't want the physical job of grooming. So I think it's a valuable option to be able to make that your plan B for when grooming is just not an option for you. But there's another reason we asked you on here today.
Yes.
Oh, wait. No, go ahead. I got 2 whole more minutes. I try to keep on track with when I do the commercials so they're spaced evenly, but go ahead.
I know you're working on a program. So in 2 minutes, tell us what the program is about, and then I'm going to ask you questions.
All right. The program is to teach business owners in the pet care industry how to establish business credit, because it's something not a lot of people know about. There's a lot of misinformation out there. And you always hear, especially in the grooming industry, people who say, I wish I could afford this, or I wish I could qualify at my local bank to buy a grooming van, or I wish I could open that shop but I don't have the money. So that's something that I have always been really interested in, and I just wanted to share my knowledge and help other small business owners take all of the confusion out of business credit.
Okay, yeah, that is definitely a hit a button now, and even though we're seconds early. Wow, when there are parts of my life I get type A about, I get really I feel like I'm so woo, and then for those little things.
And she's filling up time to get to the exact second count to play the commercial.
Not
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Only not because if that were the case, I would have had the commercial all queued up, which I clearly didn't. But Pet Edge is the pet professional's choice for supplies and equipment from top brands. Check their website for new products, sales, and special offers. For a limited time, save 5% off your order with promo code TRAVELER5. Find what you need to succeed at petedge.com. See, really quick. So, credit and business credit being separate from personal credit, because this is something I got to learn more about. This is one of my Achilles heels.
Explain the difference between personal credit and business credit.
Personal credit runs completely off of your social security number. It is tied to you as a person. Business credit in its purest form is not tied to you personally. You do not give a personal guarantee. It is tied to the business's EIN number. So you don't own that credit. The business owns the credit.
Okay. All right. And go ahead, Chris.
So how do you even check what your business credit is?
Well, if you haven't done the steps to set up your business credit, you don't have any. There are about 20 fundability factors that go into establishing business credit. So with personal credit, if you get a credit card, it reports to the credit bureaus, or if you buy a car. With business credit, it's something you have to strive for, and not everything reports to the business credit bureaus. Like everyone in business has gotten that Capital One business credit card. Well, it's not really a business credit card because it goes on your social security number. So a lot of things that are marketed as business credit absolutely isn't. You're still putting up your social and your and a personal guarantee.
Okay. So you literally have to go somewhere and specifically use your EIN. Is this something you talk to your bank about?
No, your local bank is not going to be able to help you. You have to help yourself in these situations. When you establish your business, how you set up your business is the important factors as to whether you're ever going to qualify for business credit. It's basically how lendable are you? How fundable is your business? And it starts before you ever start your business. If you've already started a business and you've messed up some steps, you can go back and fix it. But it starts first with your business name. Your business name is going to tie you and tie every single thing together. So when you're naming your business, it's not so much in the pet care industry, but there are terms that could be in a business name that will keep you from getting funding. A trucking company, put trucking in a name. That's unbelievably hard to get funding. Financial, having financial in your business name. That's a high risk category. It's very, very difficult to get funding. And something that's so important about your business name, if you look out there in the pet grooming world, everyone has Barks and Bubbles. Barks and Bubbles or Biscuits and Bows or all of the common cutesy names. And they think, well, I've got an LLC in my state. I own that name. No, you don't. Absolutely not. The first person that can come up with a trademark attorney is going to take your name and put you out of business. So it starts with your business name. It goes to having a professional business address. A lot of people, especially I know mobile groomers, they are using their home address as a business address. And it might be legal in your town, but it's not fundable. when business bankers are looking to give you money, they're looking for you to have a location where they can find you. So people who are using their home address, 9 times out of 10, they're not fundable. They need to have a virtual address, your business phone number.
So, okay, question on that one.
Sure.
Is a P.O. box?
No.
So,
No.
so what counts as a fundable business address?
A brick and mortar building. If you look in your town, Regis is a very large virtual office space. Cost about $50 a month, and you get a professional address. Different parts of the country, it ranges from as low as like $19.99 a month to some very exclusive addresses could cost you more. But nationwide, it's about $50 a month, and you get a legal business address. The UPS store where they rent you mailboxes, that's not a fundable address. A P.O. box is not fundable. Your home is not fundable. And if it were fundable, you really don't want your picture of your front door on your Google My Business. You don't want everyone to know where you live. A lot of people are running their businesses off of cell phones. That's a point that's going to work against you. You need to have an actual business phone number. It could be through Ring Central. It could be through a Google number, but it just can't be a cell number or your personal house line.
So the Google number can go to the cell.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't show up as a cellular number.
Absolutely. You can route the virtual number anyway.
Okay, now I have another question because I come from a very long line of frugal people. Mm-hmm. And while I am, according to my mother, the least frugal of anyone in our family, I still have that genetics. So then what's to stop? Because I'm going, $50 a month to have an office. What's to stop 5 mobile groomers from sharing an office building, from sharing that $50 a month office address?
Not a thing in the world.
Oh, okay, there you go.
If the remote office will let you, not a thing in the world.
Okay.
Now, is remote office something similar to a co-working space?
Well, some of them are. Like with Regis being a major one, they have office spaces that if you wanted to go in there and hold a business meeting, you could pay a few bucks extra this month, schedule your appointment, and you can go in. If a client happened to walk in and say, "Hi, we're looking for Mary Oquendo," the nice receptionist will say, "Mary Oquendo's she's not in today. Maybe, let me get your name and number and we'll get a message to her." They have no idea that you're not sitting behind a door somewhere.
Or just stepped out to lunch, or that this is your day off.
Went out to lunch. So they're very beautiful, professional looking office buildings, and you can rent the corner office to impress somebody. You can rent the conference room. But ultimately, it just gives you a legal address and a really nice picture on Google My Business.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I thought I would have to get a co-working space when I first moved here. Surprise, surprise, internet is not all that available out here, right? You have no idea what a shock that was to me, okay? Because I'm used to Wi-Fi surrounding me wherever I'm at, but here, not so much. I couldn't even get cable Wi-Fi, which for me is the bottom of the barrel, okay? I thought I would have to get a co-working space because they had fiber optic, but then the casino right down the street from me decided to put in a hotel and ran fiber optic right in front of my house.
That's awesome.
Oh, you have no idea. I must have done something really good in a past life for that. So I got fiber optic here. but we do. Co-working spaces are fairly common. We have one here in Squim. Squim is a pretty small town. So,
All right, I'm going to hit another button, and then I'm going to ask more questions about virtual offices, because now my brain's moving in ways, cheap ways. Hanvi Engineering isn't just for mobile groomers. I have loved my Hanvi equipment for years before I even thought of getting a mobile van, and I wouldn't want to groom without my Bathing Beauty and hair vac. With every piece of equipment in their van and outside of it having its own QR code linked to troubleshooting tips and fixes, these low-maintenance workhorses turn potential roadblocks into mere speed bumps. Check them out yourself at hanvi.com. Or Mary will ask the next question. Wait, no, I can breathe again.
okay.
All right. I'm sorry to all you listeners that if this is going to be repetitive. I'm trying to wrap my brain around this because this is a lot of info dump for me on financial stuff, which is not where I'm awesome with. So you can rent the business, and you do have access. You do though have access to that office space, right? You can pop in anytime there is a room, or is that extra?
That's extra for the low price that you're paying for the mailing address.
Okay.
Some places give you so many hours. Some places completely charge you extra. It all depends where it's located and the different companies. In the big cities, they definitely charge you extra.
And you have to go there like once a week, pick up your mail, or you just have it forwarded from that address permanently to your house?
You can have it forwarded. You can go in and pick it up. They also have a service where you can tell them to open it and they'll scan it and you email it to you.
Oh, okay.
Because ultimately, how much are you really going to be getting there?
It's probably going to be a fair amount of junk mail.
Yeah.
And important things. I could see like tax documents and important actual financial things going there, which is why I asked, because I could totally see me going, oh, I haven't popped over in a month and missing some deadline on filing something because.
But you know what? Having a certain number of hours a week, I think makes a lot of sense if you think about this, okay? So you have, I don't know, maybe you have admin work to do, right? Maybe you just need a quiet place to work that's not your grooming shop, which can be quite noisy, and not necessarily your home where you're being interrupted, all right? The biggest time sucker is interruptions.
Yeah.
All right. Of stopping and starting because your brain has to keep resetting all the time to get back to the job you were just doing. Right. So it may not, let's just, for argument's sake, let's just take the average of $50 a month, and it includes 5 hours of actual office time. Okay. So what's not to say, okay, if you think about it, $50 for a month, 5 hours, you go in once a week, you work an hour, you could probably get done in that hour what takes you normally 4 hours to do someplace else because you're not being interrupted, right? Or you take that $50 and you split it with some other groomers.
Right.
Because I'm, like I said, my mind is working in cheap ways, and I'm thinking, okay, $50 a month. A part of me gets it. Like, doesn't sound like it, but it does. But I do, because it's working towards getting your business credit and that fixed up. But $10 a month for a separate business address, that I can completely wrap my brain around even more if the place allows it. Now, I'm also guessing that once you get to a certain point, do you need to keep that business address for all of your business life, so to speak, all of your company's life?
I can't tell you what everybody does. I can tell you that I have. To me, it's worth it. And you can write it off. I mean, it's just a business expense.
I mean, seriously, get 4 of your friends, Chris.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I know someone in Texas that theirs is $19.99 a month. I know somebody in LA, theirs is more. Theirs is close to $100 a month. So across the country, the price just varies.
Well, Mary, you ask the next question. It's my turn we do a lot of live Googling in this show, Lisa. So Mary, go. I'm going to Google that.
Okay, so for those, let's just say you're starting out, okay? And you're doing all the right things. You've got your business address, you've got your separate phone number.
You need a professional email. You cannot be susieq21@gmail.com. You need somebody at yourbusiness.com.
Yes. I have the domain name positivelypretty.com. The website is no longer active. I only keep it because I like it. And I am hanging on, Chris, I am hanging on to that domain. I'm probably going to will it to my daughter. All right. So yeah, Mary at positivelypretty.com.
Yeah.
All right. So, but let's say you've done those 3 things.
You've done the things, you're legal, you're going to get your business listed, because these lenders are going to be trying to find you. And if they can't find you, maybe you're not that legitimate. So you could go to listyourself.net, get your business listed in all sorts of different business listings. You're going to get an LLC or whatever your business structure is going to be. And at that point, you're going to apply for your EIN. Once you have your EIN, you can have your bank account. And all of these things are going to match. The bank account is going to match that business name, that's going to match that website, so that it's just shows continuity through everything. And as soon as you get the business EIN, you can start working on your business credit. You do not have to have any income. You can get to work, and you start off with starter vendor accounts. And these are some small net 30 accounts where pretty much anyone can apply for them. And you have to have 4 of those to start with. And it could be something, you don't have to spend $1 million on them. You could spend a few dollars each month on supplies that you were going to buy anyway. And how business credit works, there's no grace period. There is no, it's due on the 1st, but we're going to give you 30 days before it's late. It's due when it's due. You either pay it early or you're late. You don't ever want to be late on your starter accounts. Once you have 4 starter lines of credit going, that's going to get you a Paydex score. Once you have a Paydex score, that's when you start either going with an upgrade of the accounts. That's when you can start getting gas cards. Gas cards are great for mobile groomers. Y'all put gas in the vans. Once you have a few more lines of credit within the middle tier, and those are going to be cards for major stores where you're going to be buying things for your business. It could be at Costco, it could be at Sam's Club. Nordstrom's, Macy's offer these lines of credit. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on them. You just need to have them. Once you hit a certain level with the medium range lenders, then you can start applying for big loans. You can get car loans. You can get cash to buy businesses or to remodel your business. And it just goes on up from there. And all of this is done with your EIN, so you can have the worst personal credit in history and still build really strong business credit.
That's actually, that's exciting, because as someone who does not have the best personal credit, I'm trying to work on it and trying to get it go up. So I think knowing and having learned what not to do, when you work on your business credit, it can actually help you with your personal credit, because it's going to get you into those better habits. You know, this is your business. You can't muck this up. And seeing that number go up, seeing your business credit score can help you know, no, I can totally do this for my personal life. And I get to hit another button. Okay. Hi. Are you tired of buying cheap shears? Do you want to buy quality shears that are custom fit to your hand, but you're really a little afraid of paying an arm and a leg? Evolution Shears have you covered. No arms or legs required. Come on down, we will custom fit you. We are not the cheapest shears out there, and that is a good thing. Right, Mindy?
Can I have my leg back now?
Maybe. I am still Googling, by the way, virtual offices, because it seems like there's a really wide range of pricing.
All right. I think something happened in the 90s, right? Prior to that, it was really difficult to get credit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 90s hit, and I'm not sure what the catalyst was, but they were literally giving away credit. I mean, we were talking before we started recording, where my dog, Sammy, was getting pre-approved credit card applications. The benefit to making things difficult was that we learned we had to save. We actually had to save money in a savings account, take out a loan against that so we couldn't touch it. And that is how we built credit. And what we were taught is that the value of saving. But then the 90s hit, and they're giving away credit. And I think that screwed up a lot of people. Why even today, there's still a generation who doesn't understand, if you can't pay the credit card off at the end of the month, don't put it on. But explain how that, in your opinion, how that has impacted getting credit in the first place.
Because there's no financial literacy training. Think about schools. They don't teach high school kids, college kids. They don't teach any form of financial literacy. And we live in a now society. So people they just get it over their heads. Instant gratification. I'm going to put it on a card, and they get it way over their head.
Okay. Now, go ahead, Chris. Do you have a question?
Oh, I was going to say, depending on where you're located, there's a company called physicaladdress.com. Now, they only have offices in Boise, Idaho, Vegas, Wilmington, Delaware, Atlanta, Dallas, Orlando, Laguna Beach, and Wall Street, New York. But for $20 a month, you can get a business address on Wall Street.
There you go.
And yeah, and that includes so many envelope and content scans, 7-day-a-week support. Yeah, unlimited secure shredding. So they can open your mail, scan it, send it to you, and shred it.
Yes.
All right. So my question is, do you have to have a virtual office in the same state in which your business is registered?
I don't know. Probably not.
That's a good question.
All right. So Chris is going to go Google it.
Okay.
Or I'll Google it if you want to ask Lisa more questions.
No, because now my brain is on a rabbit hole. Oh, I do have a question though. So where do we go to start this on our own? Like, give us website or direction. If I missed it, it's because I was trying to process a lot, but I don't think we covered that.
There's,
Or do we Google start fix your business credit?
you can start with Google for sure. I don't know how much of the information is completely accurate. But yeah, definitely you can start with Google.
Okay, so it's going to bring me right to something I know you're planning, but you haven't set up yet.
Right.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to wait till your brain marinates a little bit more on it?
Well, no, I'm definitely going to be teaching a course on it, and I'm trying to think of a way to do a short form course. I'm also looking into doing an actual retreat because it's a lot of very in-depth information. So a lot of people, it's easy to talk about, but you need help. So I think a retreat would be really good for that.
I think being something a little bit more immersive, because I think this topic is something that is making a lot of people's heads spin right at the moment.
Oh, I definitely think so, because anytime someone talks about business credit, they talk about go talk to your local banker. Your local banker probably isn't going to help you. They're going to put something up and have you give a personal guarantee, or get a business credit card. Well, it's not one that actually reports to any of the agencies, so it's not going to do you any good.
Okay. So I do like the idea of doing some sort of retreat. And I know you have the best area in the world to do that.
Yeah, the Florida Keys.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Facebook posts regarding that you're opening up registration for that.
You will be seeing it shortly.
Good. I'm happy for you. And I think it's a topic that even for all the business classes that are out there, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say boo about business credit.
You haven't. I've never heard anyone within the industry talk about it at all. And I was at a trade show earlier, and I was so lucky I got to be right beside a lady who was a representative for a bank, and they do funding for major boarding facilities and veterinary clinics. And I was speaking with her, and I was like, so, people were talking to her about $2 million loans. And I was like, well, what about for the small business? What about maybe for like a groom shop or a grooming van? And she said, oh, we don't touch that. That's too small. And I asked her, for people who are getting these jumbo loans, what the approval process was. And it was off the freaking charts. It was still, you were going to personally guarantee it. You were going to put up your personal home for it. And I'm just sitting there going, if you knew about business credit, you wouldn't be doing any of that if you had taken the time, because business credit doesn't happen overnight. But it's steps that you take, to build it. But I was thinking, I wouldn't put up my personal home, to open a business, not under these circumstances, but a lot of people have to. They don't know any different.
Well, here's the thing. I got my van in 2002. Again, credit is flowing freely at this point. I got through Dodge, I got a Dodge loan, a vehicle loan that included the conversion through Dodge. All right. Which they'll be laughing their heads off if you ask that now.
No. Yeah, because you have to finance them separately and you have to put a fortune down.
Yeah.
And you have to personally guarantee it.
And then when I got my second van, I did a home equity line of credit because I had the line of credit on my house. It never even occurred to me that while I'm working that first van, that I should be building a line of credit for my business so that when I bought that second van, okay, that I had the line of credit. Now, fortunately, at that time, the home equity lines of credit were pretty cheap. All right. Now they're ridiculous. Now it's like 10, 11%. Right. That's insane.
Exactly. And something that a lot of people think about when you are a solopreneur or a small business owner and you're guaranteeing everything with your personal credit. When people say, well, I don't have the best credit, my debt to income ratio is so high. Well, that's because you're spending all that money on your business, but you're carrying that load on your personal credit, which prohibits you from having personal credit, or you're tanking your numbers because it's not just for you personally, you're using it for a business. Like you just said, you used a home equity line of credit.
So, yeah, but you know what? I didn't know any better.
Right.
Okay. I'm really looking forward to you getting this program out there. And I absolutely think you should be connecting with the trade show directors on getting this type of program out to the rest of the groomers.
After we spoke the other day, I'm looking on the long form for the retreat and been thinking about the short form, that how I could talk about it at a trade show.
Yeah.
Oh, hold that thought, because it is time for our very last commercial break. And this is one of the times where I also need to press a button for my brain to process this info dump. This is fantastic stuff. I love being a household groomer, but I hate doing laundry or worrying about asking my clients for fresh towels. Raypet has solved those problems for me with the Wet Pet disposable towel. Taking up much less space than traditional cotton towels and easy to wring out and reuse, these super soft, comfy, absorbent towels eliminate any cross-contamination concerns between pets, and now their new smaller washcloth size can even help those sensitive eye areas. Great for cleaning out wrinkles gently and thoroughly. Need to keep water bowls for your clients on hand that are easy to disinfect, but hate all the room traditional clanky metal bowls take up? Or just have a very active pet? Their collapsible silicone bowl comes with an aluminum D-ring hook that can be attached to your pet's leash or anywhere else in your van for easy storage. You can get one by itself or in their handy travel kit, along with a set of 3 tick removers and 1 small wet pet towel. So stop by their website to check it out, raypet.net, and tell them the Traveling Groomers sent you. Okay, so yes, you definitely need to work on getting this at trade shows, because, and Mary and I will talk to you about good ways to do that once we stop recording, but finances are things that I've just started to see a lot more of at trade shows, like stuff specifically about financial things. And I've not heard any of this about business credit before. And my mind is just absolutely blown. But back in the day, they used to call it right brain, left brain people. And the right brain people are more creative. They tend to be your groomers. There's a lot of right brain because it's a creative job. And there's got to be a little left brain stuff going on to even open your own business and to deal with all that and to go through it. But I think we're a little lopsided, of the majority of us anyway. There's some that are phenomenal with the finances. You're clearly one of those. Riverly springs to mind. There's a lot of like very business savvy people in the grooming industry. I don't want to diss anybody, but I feel like the majority of our solopreneurs, or the majority of the people who want to do this, either don't lean in that direction, or we just don't know. This is not something that's talked about in schools. And how many groomers have a business degree that would know about this?
Right. I always like to say that I was a business person who knew how to groom, but the average person who gets into grooming, they're all in for the animals. And that's not their focus, nor any of the admin stuff. So that's where the virtual assistants tied in for me as well. So I could concentrate on the things that, I'm good at.
Okay. All right, Chris, you have any more questions for her?
My brain is mush. I'll probably have some questions to email or to text you at a later date, but
Sure.
but definitely get that program ready and written. Where are you located? Where do you live?
Florida Keys.
Oh, nice. Except during hurricane season. All the rest of the time, you're fantastic, but you're probably used to that.
Very, very used to it. What you see on the news typically is nothing except for last year. Last year was, I have a home in the Tampa Bay area as well. So the beach that we lived on there was completely destroyed, where the Keys was not touched.
Yeah, the weather is getting scary. Just a little bit. All right, so my notes that I have: get a business address. You don't need the whole virtual. And when you go to research this, I found from my quick Google search, there's virtual offices and there's mailing addresses, and they come at different price points. So if you need some place to go and do your office work for a couple hours a week, that's going to be a little bit more expensive than all we provide is a mailing address.
Correct.
So, and prices vary, but you might be able to get a couple different businesses with the same. But honestly, from what I was looking at, if all you need is the mailing address and you're like, you're never going to see me, that looks to be cheaper than $50 a month, but I have to call and get some quotes.
Well, yeah, and I think it's different in different parts of the country and what the providers are. I pull my pricing off of Regis, which is one of the largest providers in the United States, but I'm sure that there's definitely smaller ones throughout the United States.
Mary, did you Google? Was I supposed to Google? Can you have a mailing address in a state other?
You know what? Again,
We got distracted.
We got distracted. So we're waiting for people to make that decision. And you know what? Lisa, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
I've already outlined your first hour workshop for you, just to let you know.
Great. Send it over.
Okay.
But yeah, also that, and we've also got places you can teach it. So, all right. On that note, I will leave you all with the thought that if you write taking a nap on your to-do list, you've still been productive. Just saying, leaving that thought with all of you. And Lisa, thank you again for coming on, and safe travels, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, that was fun, but now it's time to head home. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed chatting with you. If there are any topics you'd like us to discuss or guests you want to see join us on this crazy road trip of ours, let us know in the Traveling Groomers Facebook page. Don't forget to thank our sponsors. And see you next week, guys. Safe travels.